Video game developer and publisher Capcom has been accused of race swapping one of their villains, Larry Chiang, in the upcoming Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster from an Asian man to an unnamed fat white man wearing glasses and a baseball cap. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. I'd also ask if you please hit that like button. Let's send this video into the upper echelons of the YouTube algorithm so more people can see this. I wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com, and the accusation comes from ex-user Pirate Nation. He wrote this on X. Capcom's Dead Rising remake race swapped psychopath boss Larry Chiang from Asian to white, likely due to racial stereotype. And I think this accusation has a ton of merit. I believe this is exactly what they have done in this game. Because if you look at the recently released announcement trailer from Capcom USA for Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, it shows the game's protagonist Frank West in what looks to be a meatpacking building. And this fat white man who has replaced Larry Chiang greets him saying, "A customer." This is a line that Chiang uses in the original game. You can see here that West is indeed in this meatpacking facility. And this is what this fat white man now who has replaced Larry Chiang says. Let's take a listen.
A customer.
Obviously, short, brief clip there, though. But as I will show you here in this clip from the original game, Chiang does indeed say this line. He is hanging up this guy. What's his name? Carlito Keys. And this is how you first meet Larry Chiang. You see him on this like security footage, and he is dragging Carlito Keys into the meat processing area. And when you actually arrive on the scene, Chiang is hanging him up onto a meat hook and is preparing to butcher him to eat. He is indeed one of the game's many psychopaths or individuals who have lost their minds in the wake of a zombie outbreak and have become a violent threat to the survivors. As we'll see here, he's clearly depicted as an Asian man. But this is how the original game looks like right here. Let's take a listen.
A customer.
So there you go. It is almost scene for scene from the new trailer. But instead of Larry Chiang, this towering fat Asian white man wielding a butcher's cleaver, we now have this fat white dude with a baseball cap and glasses. So as for why Capcom has done this, it's unclear. They have not released a statement. However, we did have this from Capcom's localization team back in April. They posted this specifically regarding cultural sensitivity with characters, and it says character design and development must be culturally sensitive. What may be acceptable in one culture might be offensive in another. Localizers play a crucial role in ensuring that characters are relatable and respectful, avoiding stereotypes or other references that could be perceived as negative in specific cultures. So one has to assume that, or I think it's safe to assume that Capcom changed Larry Chiang from this Asian man to this white man because they didn't want to be perceived as committing some kind of offensive stereotype against, I guess, Asian people or Chinese people or whatever ethnicity, nationality Larry Chiang is supposed to be from. One would assume that he's there. I think they're in America. They're in a mall in America. So one would not assume that he's from any of those Asian countries. He's probably an American who's trying to make his way as a butcher. Obviously, zombie outbreak happens and he goes crazy. He loses it. He can't take it. And he obviously becomes a deranged cannibal who wants to eat his fellow human. And now they've turned him into a white man. So what does that say? Or if they're changing Larry Chiang from this Asian man to a white man, and because he's deemed offensive, well, is it not offensive then to have him depicted as a white man? Right? If this crazy psychopath being an Asian man is offensive, why is it not offensive for him being a white man? Also, why can't there be crazy, insane Asian people? Because there probably are. Just like there are crazy, insane white people. What is wrong with keeping him as an Asian man? That's almost offensive. I would assume it's offensive to Asian people because it's like, hey, we do have people like that are insane and crazy, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so they're basically getting rid of an Asian character. which is just, it's just wild, right? They're in the name of inclusivity, they're literally getting rid of an Asian character. Remember, it's all about representation, though, and they want you to see yourselves in these characters. They want you to be represented in these characters. So you wouldn't want to have the villain be an Asian man. That's why they've changed it to a white man. And that's why I really think they're doing this. It's clearly done to villainize white people. Because again, at the end of the day, that is what all of this representation, inclusivity, diversity agendas are all about. It's all about being anti-white under the guise of representation and basically just being nice. It's under the guise of being nice. And it's really just all rooted in racism, though. And I think this is just another example of it. Capcom should be ashamed of themselves, but it's also another example that Japan is not immune to woke ideology. In fact, we see one of their largest game developers and publishers here clearly embracing it in this remake. That came out in 2006, so it wasn't offensive in 2006. I think they released it on Steam in 2016. Released on Steam in 2016 wasn't offensive then, but somehow 8 years later, it is now offensive, and they have to change the character design. It is repulsive. It is wrong, and we're going to continue to call this stuff out. I think this game now should be boycotted. It should be dead on arrival. No one should be purchasing this game, because if they're doing this to this character, one has to wonder what else they are injecting into the game as well. What other kinds of woke messaging are they putting into it that was not in the game previously? But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, but to always speak the truth.